Hi guys, chose my reactions and welcome to my Charm Season 3 review. Before I begin, first a little disclaimer. I saw if you hear a little bit of background noise, but it's very warm today. So I have this, I don't even know how to call it in English, like this thing. So if you hear a little bit of background noise, please excuse me, but otherwise I will just die. So yeah, I think I want to start off just with the questions. I prepared a little bit for the review, but somehow it was pretty hard. I really enjoyed Season 3, but I don't know why exactly, but it's pretty hard to make a review of it. I guess it's just me. But anyway, let's just start with the questions. I made a list with my ugly handwriting. So let's go through it. I can't guarantee I will give a good answer though. I'm very bad at this. Yeah. So first question. Thoughts on Phoebe's and Cole's relationship? Well, where do I start? I think my initial thought is that I'm pretty neutral about it. I think I already talked a little bit about this in one of my reactions. Mm, I care more about Cole than I care about the relationship. I don't really have anything against it, but I'm also not really that excited about it. What I mean with that is that whenever we have like a scene between Phoebe and Cole and it's like relationship related, even though that the scene itself themselves are interesting, I'm not that mm, into it, not that involved. At least I think so because, for example, with Leo and Piper, I never thought I was that hardcore with them. But um, then episode, I think it was two. Yeah, episode two happened where Leo was whipped away. Before they could get married, and I was like devastated. I was shocked. I was crying. I was very mad at Cole, and there were more people like you. There were you guys were actually also. I mean, most of you were also a little bit surprised by my reaction. Like, oh, okay, I didn't know you were like that into them. I didn't know either. So maybe it's the same for them, but I don't think so. Um, but yeah, other things. I do like the storyline it gave us. The thing that Cole's introduced, he wanted to kill them all, kill all three of them, but then he developed feelings for Phoebe, and because of that, that was like the Kickstarter for him to try to be good and not be evil anymore. And I also liked the drama that came out of it, between Phoebe and her sisters. She was even lying to them about the fact that she didn't vanquish Cole. She actually let him live, let him escape. So the parts interesting developments, some interesting twists. Of course, also the reveal of Cole that he is like half demon, that he is Balthazar. That was I really enjoyed it. It was like I guess a little bit of like the first story arc, first half of the season. So I'm all happy about that, but I wouldn't call myself a Phoebe and Cole shipper. Not just yet, but who knows? Who knows what the future brings? Second question. Character development with each sister. Well, this question actually made me sweat a little. I was like, oh, I'm very bad at, um, even though that I love character development in shows, I mean, there's a reason why I love Buffy the Vampire Slayer so much, why I love Angel, Battlestar Galactica, and so on. Uh, but most of the time, I'm pretty bad at pointing things out. There's a reason why I love reading an analysis as well. Um, so when I got this question about character development, I was like, oh my god, character development. Um, I went back to the beginning of the season, looking for obvious changes. Um, and I'm probably being very stupid, but I don't feel like there was that much character development. I feel like there was more character development in the earlier, well, in season one and season two. I think there wasn't as much, of it was just too silly. Too silly. I mean, too subtle for someone like me. I mean, maybe I don't know. Like Prue did get more, like even more reckless. Well, not really reckless, but she took a lot of risks. Whenever she wanted to save innocents, she's always willing to endanger herself. And even though that the child are supposed to be willing to give their own lives to save innocents, Prue took it a little bit too far. Whenever she's by herself or they're like completely outnumbered, she just goes for it, even though it's not really the good thing to do. Like it's not really, it doesn't really help things if you will just kind of throw your life away just to save that innocent. So I guess yeah, she did get more. I don't know the other word, reckless, I guess. And for Piper, I don't really feel like there were that many different things. I mean, at the beginning of the season when Leo got ripped away, she was rightfully upset. She didn't want to help Prue and Phoebe for a while. She was just like, why should I still do this? Why should I just still do my job as a charmed one? Well, when I can't even have some kind of normal life, when I'm not even allowed to be with the love of my life. And then she got to this point where she was like, okay, even though that she rightfully still feels like she should have some kind of normal life. She does know that where her priorities lies. Well, not really priorities, but that she wants to truly help the innocent. She doesn't want to risk either that she gets distracted or is too worried about Leo, so she can't fulfill her destiny. Uh, and because of that realization, we got Leo back. So we do have those key points, but I feel like we already had those kind of lessons. I don't think it's that new. There were multiple moments, especially season 2, where Piper was like, I'm done with this charm stuff. We deserve more. And for Phoebe, yeah, character development. I mean, there were a few moments where I was surprised, I guess, especially with Cole related. There were a few moments where I thought that she would be too easy on him. She'd be like, oh no, he's trying to be good, and don't be too hard on him, whatever, just give him a chance. There were a few moments where she was like, no, Cole, this is not good enough. We're not going to be together now. Um, I don't want to have anything romantic with you now. You have to work on yourself. There were a few moments like that where I was like, okay, I didn't expect that from you, Phoebe. That's good. That's good. Um, so yeah, I get like, is that character development? I'm very bad at it. I'm sorry. Um, there are probably a lot of you are like, Marty, how dare you? But I just don't really can come up with something like very concrete, like they started off like this and they ended up like that. I don't really can. I kind of feel like if we're talking about character development, I'm merely thinking about Cole. Cole was a very big part of this season. I was actually surprised how much of a part of this season it is because again I went through the episodes to prepare myself a little bit, even though you can't see it because I'm a mess. And I was like, wow, there's a very huge focus on Cole actually. I don't feel like the sisters have learned that much or developed that much as they did in season 1 and 2. It was mainly Cole who changed, which I really enjoyed, but I did notice that. Let's just go to the next question. Best and worst character trait of each sister. Another question which made me sweat. I'm so bad at stuff like this. I thought a little bit about it, and best and worst. I don't really. I mean, for best, I don't. I'm not sure if it's a character trait. English is not my first language. Okay, I can use that excuse. But for Piper, I was thinking about like kind of I would call it a no nonsense like attitude. I don't think that's a character trait. Maybe a readiness. I just enjoyed that whenever weird things are happening or whenever it's trying to come up with some bullshit, Piper's like, not today. She points it out, and mostly in a humorous way. It's always funny when she's like, no, and the way like her mannerisms and all that add to that. I just really enjoy that about her. Like, of course, I know that Prue and Phoebe also don't want to mess with some kind of I don't know the other word than bullshit. There should be a better word than that, but I don't know, something about Piper. She's just even more like, what are you saying? Like, what are you even trying to do? I just really enjoy that about her. At worst character trait, I think it was hard for me to come up with a worst character trait for Piper. Worst character trait, maybe that sometimes she can, well, maybe she sometimes expects too much of from her, you know? Like, it already got a lot better than in season 1, but she can be very hard on herself. Sometimes I'm like, you can chill a little bit. It's weird coming from me because I'm like stressed all the time. But I'm like, girl, chill. Like, it's alright. You're doing fine. We're rooting for you. And that could be, like, I guess that's a worst character trait. I mean, I don't really mind. For Prue, well, best character trait. Again, I really bet I should have looked up what a character trait even is, but again, I guess her confidence. Like, of course, she has her insecurities and all of that, but she has some. She has her beliefs, and she really stands behind them, and she's willing to. Um, yeah, she stands. She the thing is, Pooh really stands for something. Also, the other sisters, of course, but I don't know. There's something special about her. Uh, it's still hard to talk about Prue, but I wish I could explain it better. But I don't know. Like, I was thinking about myself why Prue is my favorite, but there's just something about it that makes her even more inspiring to me than Piper and Phoebe. She just has that. She's just so inspirational. I don't know. Yeah, let's move along before I start crying. But yeah, worst character trait. Again, that she takes a lot of unnecessary risks, in my opinion. Um, Sometimes I'm like, I'm very happy that you want to do good. I'm very happy that you want to protect the innocents, but you're also worthy. You're also important. Don't just throw your life away. Eh. Phoebe, best character trait. Um, I think that she's the most fun. Like, it's laid back, the right word for it. She's just the most fun, I guess. She is. If you really just want to have fun and not think about anything that you have to do tomorrow, or not think about the deadlines you have to do, she would be the right person to hang out with. She is a very fun person, but she still doesn't forget her responsibilities, and I love that she's the one who is the most passionate about their destiny. But her worst character trait is definitely how naive she can be sometimes. With the story arc with Cole, and a lot of times Prue is very suspicious of Cole, but rightfully, and Phoebe, a lot of times she just wanted to wave that away. She was like, yeah, like, no, Cole is good, and how dare you think about that way, yada yada yada. And I was like, come on, like, there's still something shady about him. Um, I don't know. I feel like she can sometimes but I guess naive. I guess it's the right word. Like, yeah, I think that's the worst character trait. I hope that kind of answers your question. Um, Episode that surprised you the most? Like, what's with all the difficult questions? I was like, episode that surprised me the most. Like, almost every single episode is like moments where I'm like shocked or totally surprised, or like, what the hell just happened? Um, so if I go through the episodes, I think the episode that surprised. Well, I don't think I can just name one episode. Um, I think, for example, episode 8. Slewing with the enemy. I don't even know how to pronounce that. I think, yeah, this was the episode where Cole revealed, where Cole, his identity he was revealed that he's half demon, he's Balthazar, but also Balthazar. That really surprised me. I remember that I was shocked when he turned into his demon form next to Phoebe, when Piper and Prue and etc. walked in. I was also kind of surprised that Leo kind of figured it out himself. Like what I was saying, that the actor who portrays later the great Leo did a great job with using his facial expressions to kind of show us that he was like, first it was like, wait a minute, what's going on? And it was like, he's called a demon. Then it's like, oh, he's a demon for real. Like, he went through all those stages. That was a kind of a surprising episode. I mean, it was obvious at some point they were going to figure it out, but still, I don't know, it was still kind of surprised to me that when it happened, I was like, it's happening. And uh, but also, I think also episode 11 was also pretty surprising, because I didn't expect that we will see more about the Wildlighters, about their world. and see another white lighter. That was just, and of course that the sisters, the child ones, that they went to the white lighter world at the end to vanquish that warlock. I think maybe that was like the most surprising episode. If I just take it as a whole, that was definitely one of the most surprising episodes. Uh, and yeah, I'm ignoring the finale on purpose. Okay, I don't want to talk about the finale right now. Maybe later. So yeah, if I have to pick one episode at this moment, I think I'm gonna go for episode 11. What didn't you like about this season? What didn't I like about the season? Well, there isn't a lot that I didn't like. Um, I actually think that this season was, and I'm not talking about plot points or about lore or about background information, but about just talking quality wise. I think it was the most consistent so far. I mean, I believe that season 2 was already more consistent in quality than season 1, and I think season 3 is even more consistent in quality. Um, Again, when I went through all the episodes, and yeah, I took like a little bit of notes that are already useless now, uh, but when I went through all the episodes, most episodes were I really enjoyed. I thought were very good, or were just good. There were just, I think maybe like one like meh episode, and then two episodes I was like, what was up with that? Um, so what I didn't like, where did I start? I should have prepared better. God, you wouldn't believe it. I was already prepared for 2 hours. Yeah, whatever. What I didn't like. Mm, well, I didn't like the white lighter language. It gave you a funny reaction, I guess. But I don't know. I kind of hope for like more of a real language and not to offend the white lighter. Not that there exists, like what, but that weird click clack thing. It was funny for now, but I kind of hope that if they're gonna talk white lighterish again, that they gonna um rewrite that part of the charmed verse. Just make it more of a language. I don't know. It's funny for that moment, but it's kind of silly overall. I don't know. But what I also didn't like was the wrestlers. The thing that wrestling makes you less human. That didn't make sense at all. Didn't like that. The ice cream guy, like I said, I really wish that he wasn't a part of the Book of Shadows. I really wish that he wasn't some kind of mythical whatever it was. It was just, I don't know, it was just too weird. The fairies, but more about that later. Also didn't like that decision to include them and the trolls. Um, Also, I don't really think it's something I didn't like, but it's just an observation um, that again, from my perspective, for someone who's really bad at seeing things like character development, if it unless it's really obvious, is that Cole actually got like way more attention, way more development than any of the sisters, I believe. And even though that I really enjoyed watching the episode, even though I really like Cole, it's maybe it kind of um it kind of depends what's going to happen later on. But I kind of feel like it's a missed opportunity. We should have had more development of the sisters. I kind of feel like they should have done more, for example, with Phoebe. Um, I don't know. Like in the beginning, it was all suspenseful and what is Cole going to do, and will his love for Phoebe be enough? Will he do something to Phoebe? Will he harm her? But that's the thing. It was mostly from Cole's perspective. I did appreciate the fact that we got that messed up moment that Phoebe was lying to her sisters that about what I mentioned earlier, that Cole wasn't really dead. But I think they should have done even more. The lying was messed up, but pretty soon after she fessed up, things were pretty much alright again. We had that one scene between uh, Phoebe and Piper where they were Phoebe and Prue where they're both like, where do we go from here? Well, things went pretty good, I guess. Yeah, there were still a few references to that, but I think it could have been even worse. I don't know. I think it was rather it was pretty easy for Cole to be part of the group, other than a few side eyes and a few bitter remarks. I think things most of the time went pretty well. I think it could have been a little bit harder. Um, I think they should have done a little bit more of a character study with Phoebe. I don't know, but it's not something I would say like I dislike that. It's just something I was realizing now. Um, Other things I don't like. That's not. Not a lot of things that come up in my mind now. Maybe later I will be like, wait a minute, I didn't like that either. But oh yeah, one thing, the ending of the finale. Um, I still don't want to talk about the finale, but as you maybe already know, but I've already watched the at this point of time I've already watched the first and second episode of season 4. Don't want to go too into it now because I would like to give a cohesive and happy review, not a review where I'm crying. Um, but even though I know that they couldn't do more than they already did, I know about the behind the scenes stuff. I know all about that. But if I just forget that and just focus on what was happening in the show, I really wish that 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 the consequences of the finale were already shown in the finale itself, instead of that open ending, and then later on stuff happened off screen. I really wish that happened on screen. To put it this way, that's something that I don't really like as much about season 3. But again, I understand how it went. Um, Foreshadowing of Prue's death. Yeah, nice topic. Okay, I'm gonna try to be strong. So yeah, foreshadowing. I There were, I guess, the most obvious one was the episode. What I think was it 16? Was episode 16? Death takes a Halliwell. Um, where Death himself wanted to teach Prue a lesson. He wanted uh, to teach Prue that you can't fight death. If you supposed to die, you're gonna die. You shouldn't fight against death. You shouldn't focus on that. But Prue didn't want to listen at the beginning. She truly wanted to stop him. She was also, in the process of trying to fight death, she was risking Cole's life. Cole was almost, well, not maybe almost, but Cole was, the Seekers, the villains were trying to kill Cole. Cole was calling for Prue, and she basically ignored her, was fighting against the visible death. That was really messed up, but kind of showed what that was trying to say to her. You can't just, she can't stay angry forever about the fact that their mom died. Um, um, she she has to move on. You can't just stay angry about that. You can't hold on to that anger. You have to grieve, and then you have to move on. Um, and when you're outnumbered, or when you don't have powers, then you can't just like whatever. I'm still gonna try to save that person. The thing is, she was being too careless. She was taking too many risks, and that's why she was on the list. And because she learned at the time of the episode that she shouldn't fight against that, and she just has to, um, accept that. She didn't die that day. So yeah, I guess that was foreshadowing. Um, but there are probably a lot of less subtle foreshadowings, but which I don't really can point out at the time. And do know that I think season 2, there were a few moments where I kind of felt uncomfortable, where I felt like they were putting a lot of emphasis on the fact that Prue didn't want to end up as their mom, and that Prue also wants to find a husband, have children, and that she felt like that she was really terrified of dying young and not achieving those things. And there were a few instances where there was, I believe, quite a focus on that. So maybe that kind of, I guess you can classify that as foreshadowing as well. I feel like they were more talking about Prue's death than talking about the possibility of Phoebe or Piper dying. Um, s- um, so yeah, it's, I don't know. It's really hard to talk about it. But at the end of season 3, she was still. taking an enormous risk. I don't know 100%, and I don't want to look it up now, but I believe that. I'm not sure, but wasn't Prue standing before the innocent that the villain wanted to kill, and that's how she got blasted? I'm not sure, but if it is, it emphasizes once again that if you're now numbered and all that, you just have to accept that you can't save it. You can't save every single innocent. But yeah, let's move on. Relationship with the father. Um, yeah, I'm very happy that they recasted the father. I still not that big of a fan of father. I just, don't get me wrong, we had some great scenes, especially at the wedding where Leo did his beautiful speech to Victor and explained to him that, I love Piper with my everything. She's number one. I will always protect her, do everything for her, and if he can't accept that, then it is what it is. And then Victor was like, okay, then maybe he can have a white lighter as a son-in-law. I really appreciated that. I'm also very glad that Victor did that beautiful speech to Piper, where he told her that his marriage with their mom was like the most beautiful thing he had in his life, and that he's really happy that because of the marriage, even though that they got divorced, it still gave them their beautiful daughters. That I was like, okay, good. Like, I'm so glad you said that, and he really, he kind of saved the day as well because Piper wanted to get married again. So thank you. Um, I know that could be kind of hard of it on him. Um, Maybe it will change. I just maybe it's because I'm not that close with my real father or something. I don't know. But I don't really mind it. I do get more aggravated, aggravated, irritated towards him. I hope you can deal with that. But if I try to be more objective, I'm like you don't really have a reason to hate it that much, Marley. So I'm guessing kind of neutral, but quickly get irritated about him. But about the relationship, I'm glad that they got more closer. Even though that I don't think the ice cream episode was the best episode, I do like what it did for the development of the relationship between why do all the names start with a P? With Prue and Victor. That we got to see like flashbacks of what happened, and that he saved her then, and now he was also the one who could save the end of the day. And that now whenever Victor shows up, that Prue is happy to see him and not just like glaring at him like, ugh. I'm happy for that, and happy for the happy times he offered them. Uh, Piper's and Leo's wedding. Well, I thought it was beautiful. It was a long, long road. There were like three attempts, and not sure if I said it by reaction, but at some point I thought like, wait a minute, a third time's a charm. I was like, did they do that on purpose? It has to be. I mean, charm once. Um, that was a nice touch, actually. At the time I was annoyed a little bit. I was like, when can they finally get married? First, he got whipped away that horrible fashion that I was disturbed, and my mom had to comfort me. Yeah, I'm totally a grown up. Second time was when Prue went off with that biker guy, and the cake was destroyed. And then finally, the third time, it finally happened, and it was beautiful. I really like the inclusion of magic, that they used magic to make music. They used magic to have those beautiful lights, especially when they were kissing, so beautiful. Very happy that the grandma was there and officiated the wedding, that the mom was there. Also happy that Daryl was there. I don't know, I have a soft spot for Daryl. I still can't believe I watched my season 1 reactions. I'm like, I didn't like him, and now I'm like, oh, Daryl. And Cole was also there, and I recently edited the episode, and I noticed that Cole was also like very happy and looking around, like fascinated. It was just cute. I think the wedding was pretty much perfect. The only thing I wished was that the cat was also involved. Give us some love as well. That's the only thing. Other than that, I think it was perfect. There's not a lot of times, at least in the shows that I've been watching, that couples in shows get married, or I mean, I hope they stay married, but like get married and have like this big wedding with, I know it's not a big, but for me it's still a big wedding because we still have guests. Not that they have to wed by themselves somewhere, totally in secret. It was just heartwarming. Yeah, beautiful. Dun, 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 dun. The introduction of mythical and supernatural creatures such as fairies. Yeah, about that. Yeah, you guys told me that there will be more mythical creatures. I'm not sure how I should feel about that. I'm kind of like just now I got like a terrifying thought that we're gonna have like leprechauns or something. I feel like that's gonna happen. I don't know. But the fairies, yeah, no, it wasn't really for me. The trolls as well. I don't know. I really think it's one of my least, well, not least favorite episodes of the whole show because we still had like epic moments as like Leo's return. I believe I was even crying. When he returned at the end, I was so happy. I actually was like, already forgotten about what happened before. But now it's been a while. Now I can be a little bit, more critical. It's just, I don't know. There's just so many annoying bits in it. I just think the effects are too cheesy. That kid flying around with the wings, it just looked weird. Then the in between thing, it was just, oh no, you can't be the in between. I'm gonna get you. Or like you're in the door opening and then they're gonna get you. It was just, I don't know. I wish they could have come up with something better. And the most irritating thing was not just, it wasn't it wasn't just like the fairies and the trolls. It was actually that Prue and Phoebe were talking as little children, very childishly, with a very high pitched voice, and I was so annoyed. Like if I'm annoyed with Prue, then something very weird is going on. I still have kind of nightmares about that. It was just so annoying to me. It's just my personal opinion. I'm not saying the episode is bad. I just didn't really enjoy it. Um, so the thought of having more mythical creatures, I'm not that excited. But I can't say that I'm fully against it. Maybe if they execute it a little bit better, then I don't really mind. I mean, I definitely don't mind more supernatural creatures. I still have fond thoughts about the Wendigo episode of season one. I even kind of like the banshee we got, except the screaming. Um, I don't mind things like that. Um, so if it's well executed, I would say yeah, I'm excited, but just no more like not like the fairies and the trolls. Just a little bit. It can be a little bit darker or a little bit more mature. Not like this. Um, Favorite episode. Usually I choose multiple favorite episodes because I'm very bad at choosing one favorite episode. So, like I said, I made a list of all the episodes, and I kind of tried to pinpoint the episodes which I enjoyed a little bit more than the other episodes. Uh, Episode that I crossed was like the first episode of season 3. I thought it was a very good premiere episode. We had the introduction of Cole. We had my very shocked reaction when Cole wasn't frozen. Like he pretended to be frozen, but then he like moved. And I was like, "What? Who are you? What are you planning?" We had Phoebe's new power that she can levitate, and she can combine it with her awesome fighting skills. And Leo, of course, that he was practicing to ask Piper to marry him. That was that was awesome. I was in the bathroom, truly nervous, and she was like, "What's going on? No, you have to tell me now." And he had to propose to her. I believe in the bathroom, yeah. So that was awesome. But at the end, she still accepted to marry him. So yeah, I was happy again. Um, I don't know. I just thought it was a fun episode, a fun way to start the season off. Then you had the Halloween episode, All Halloween's Eve. Totally one of my all-time favorites. There are a lot of iconic moments, a lot of fun moments. Some points that I've written down were like the Daryl and Leo bromance. I'm a little bit I am a little bit disappointed they didn't get more about of that in the season. I thought they were setting it up and then they already forgotten about it. Again, I can understand that Daryl's not like as involved as Leo and etc. I'm actually happy that he still is in the show and he's more in the show than I thought. But again, I really should got some more Leo and Daryl moments, please. That's like on my wish list for season 4. Give it to me. And Cole's wig. That was something. Again, it gave me some interview with a vampire vibes. Um, Phoebe flying on a broomstick. Yes, yes, that was like everything. Oh god, I really wish it was already on Blu-ray because I really want to make that like my wallpaper. Um, the apple thing, that ridiculous scene where that guy with the apple is like, the apple's gonna shape into a letter shape, and the whatever letter shape is going to take in form, that's going to be the first letter of your was it your true love? I think your true love. And like Cole was standing next to her, even though she didn't know it was Cole, and it forms into a C, and I was like, really? I mean, now we know that they have like a deep relationship. I mean, I don't know if he's the true love. Don't know about that, but interesting, interesting. Um, the return of the Grimlocks. It's also nice to have some villains back. They were definitely different towards, the first appearance. They were a lot more talkative, but they were also a lot more funny. Um, and also interesting that this episode, I'm not sure if it was the first time. I think so though. That if you looked at Cole's facial expressions, that I was a little bit down. But I was like, wait a minute, does he care though? Because you see with the pregnant woman, he did feel, it kind of see that like he did felt a little bit bad about the whole ordeal, and of course he was happy that the Hallowell sisters made it to the day. He was actually excited. I was like, okay, didn't you want to kill them and stuff? That gave us a little bit more of a peek into his true character. And yeah, of course, the reveal that they're the ancestors. That was of course awesome. What wasn't as awesome was the hanging scene. Still shocked about that. Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of great episodes. We had like a lot of episodes were kind of a follow up. All of the episodes where Cole was trying to kill them, and then it didn't work, or someone else had to kill them. And he was like, "Nah, I don't really want you to kill them though, because I have the hots for Phoebe. So how about no?" But episode 8 again, where he showed his other face. That was a very epic episode, and of course that whole deal that Leo told Phoebe, like, he's demon. I couldn't fully heal him because he's like demon, and she first responded, she didn't want to believe Leo, and then after that we had this kind of creepy, well, not really like indirect confrontation. She was being pretty pissed off towards Cole, and he was being a little bit creepy, and they were walking like the same way and looking at each other. I was like, oh my god, what's going on? And then they walked in and he had to reveal all that. Like I already said, it was a very good episode. Again, episode 11, the White Lighters. Also, like I have too many favorite episodes. The episode where they get married. Pre-Witched, episode 17, also one of my favorites. I'll always enjoy when we get background information, when it's focused on the sisters, their relationship. Didn't like, but it was important to see the grandma die in quite a horrifying way. But of course, the reveal that she wanted to do a spell that they wouldn't turn into witches or become witches, because the grandma was afraid that they wouldn't be close anymore. Very special episode. I mean, the finale, even though that it made me very upset, it is a very good episode. Definitely one of the best episodes. But would I call it my favorite episode? Especially knowing what happened afterwards, I'm not sure if I can do that. So, favorite episode, I don't know. I don't know how to pick a favorite episode of this. If I have to choose one, it will depend on the day. For now, I'm gonna choose a Halloween episode. I guess I'm in a Halloweeny mood. Then, is this season better than its preceders, or is it worse? Well, this is an easy question. This is my favorite season so far. Again, quality wise, I think it's the most consistent. A lot of episodes are simply just good. I also really enjoyed that especially in the beginning. Well, not especially in the beginning. I think that like almost the whole season is like one big story, and it's very heavily focused around Cole, but the show still hasn't forgotten about her favorite sisters. but it made me even more excited to watch. I actually wanted to binge watch a lot of times, especially the first half, where I was like, "Oh God, what is Cole going to do next? What is he planning? How is he going to deal with this?" It was very addictive in a way, even more addictive than usual. Um, so I definitely don't think it's worse. Um, I definitely think it's the best. I do think that season two also had a few very strong episodes, but there were also quite a few like lows. So yeah, I think at the end of the day, the season three is for me the best season so far. Yeah. All right. Did season three live up the hype? Season three was very hyped. A lot of people were like, "I can't wait for you to start season three or best season or this and that," and I was like, "Okay, it's better be good because guys, you do want me to trust you." Um, so did it live up to the hype? I definitely think so. I don't feel like I'm disappointed. Um, a few times in my head I was like, okay, I'm kind of wondering what story arc we're going to have, or what is going to be the finale, or what next. I do was a little bit nervous from time to time of what especially was going to happen. Um, but I don't think I was disappointed. The only thing I expected more was to make it even darker. Yeah, because I do remember that a few were like very dark, and yeah, you're telling me that you want dark storylines. You should wait until you're to season three. You're gonna have your dark storylines. There were some dark moments, yeah, but I think I did expect a little bit to be more darker. I don't know. I kind of had more like Buffy season 6 in my mind. If you're talking darker, um, like I kind of thought because everyone was talking about darker and more messed up that Phoebe was going to turn bad, turn evil, and I'm not talking about temporarily evil or like we had that as an episode, blah 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 episode. Um, I'm such a mess. Episode. Where is episode? Uh, Okay, episode 13. Sorry about that. Episode 13, Bright and Gloom. There, Piper and Phoebe were both evil there, but I kind of thought we were gonna have like a bigger story arc where Phoebe would truly voluntarily choose the evil side for some kind of reason. I sort of thought that she was going to do messed up things. Then after a while, I was like, okay, I don't think it's gonna happen. And then at some point, I made a prediction that in the finale that Cole was going to get killed, and then Phoebe was going to be turned evil because of that. Sort of like what happened in the future, but then instead of a friend, her lover. That didn't happen. Um, so yeah, I don't know. Again, there were some dark moments, but for example, maybe if Cole truly voluntarily killed that witch at the end of season three, that would have been really messed up. Because even though at the time I was really shocked, afterwards it was like, nah, he did a spell on me, so I didn't really have a choice. Even though I was happy for Cole, just looking at it from a distance, I was a little bit disappointed. I was like, this could have been really messed up. But I don't really mind. So in short, I'm really bad. Sorry. In short, I wasn't disappointed. I really, I think it was rightfully hyped. I just thought it would be more darker based on what I've read. Um, Season 4 predictions. So yeah, I already watched episode 1 and 2. Gonna watch episode 3 and 4 soon. So other than those two episodes, what are my predictions? Maybe that Phoebe is finally going to turn evil. My prediction is that Phoebe is going to turn evil for, again, not just one episode, but like a story arc or something. And maybe Cole is going to be the one who's like good, and he wants to try to save her or something. Maybe something like that. Um, I also feel that Leo's going to turn human again, because I kind of feel like with Cole, we have Cole and Leo. They both have like Cole can also like just as Leo orbs, Cole can like shimmer. So I kind of feel like the writers could have just make him Leo human again, so they can deal with that again, and use Cole more to help them out. It will be a way for them um, to let Cole redeem himself even more. I don't know, but on the other hand, I'm like, why would they make a human again? He was recently human. That's true, but it was for a shorter period. I don't know. Something in my guts is telling me it's gonna turn human. Maybe not now, but he will. Um, I also think we're gonna before Leo's gonna turn human. At least I think we're gonna learn more about White Lighters even more because Paige is a half White Lighter. So it will be great reason for us to explore what it means to be White Lighter, what exactly what powers have them. I mean, I haven't forgotten that Leo could shape shapeshift in an episode. He took the form of Balthazar. Can Paige do that as well? What kind of powers does she have for White Liars? Um, so I think that. But yeah, really better predicting. It's really hard. And I think mainly the focus is going to be about building the bond between Paige, Piper, and Phoebe. Establishing that bond. I mean, at least I hope so, to kind of show us that Paige is truly a Hollowell. Um, and maybe we're going to learn more about the relationship between their mom and the White Lighter. That's the best that I can do. Okay. Did the season 3 finale live up to your expectations? Ha! I'm so mad at myself. I remember after season 2 that I was quite disappointed. I did this whole rant and I was like, I don't really like it when we do all this messed up things, but they're like no consequences. Like, what is the use? Yeah, I don't want to cry, but yeah, we got our consequence. I'm wondering how hard you guys were laughing when I was complaining about consequences. You were like, "Girl, you want consequences? You're gonna get consequences." So yeah, did it live up to expectations? It was a really good finale. It really felt like a finale, even though that there still were happened things that got reversed or got resolved with the turning back time. It still didn't feel as unearned. I don't know. I think it was just the stakes were very high. I think the only thing I didn't like about the finale was, and that I'm just being superficial, is how the villain looked. I know that's not a porter, but the villain, quite honestly, I think it just looked ridiculous, and I'm even offended maybe that um that Prue got that happened to Prue because of someone that looks like that. I don't know. It's superficial, but other than that, I like that we got to see what would happen if the whole, well, not whole world, but if like almost everyone knows about the witches, that they know about their true lives. Um, how would people react to that? We got to see that. Well, people react as animals. It's disgusting how they behave, especially the journalists. Um, we got a nice. I mean, it's a reminder again that they have to be very secretive about their identity. Otherwise, this will happen. So it gave us a great opportunity to show that to us and not just tell. Instead of just why like, no, they can't know, dangerous. They showed us like, you girl, this is why they should be secretive about it. You take it seriously now. Um, and when Piper got shot, the acting was phenomenal. It was too good. It felt so real. I know I've said this multiple times, but this was like a whole nother level. This was a whole nother level. Acting from everyone. Like this reaction made me cry the most. I cry more than I ever thought I would cry with doing my reactions. I kind of feel like I'm can be a drama queen with all the tears I'm shedding, but With the finale, like you guys even saw my very ugly cry face. Woo! Like, thank you that you didn't make fun of it. Like, I'm surprised. I'm actually surprised that you guys are like, wow, what kind of face is that, girl? Thanks for that. So, um, I don't know. Like when it happened, I really felt like, you know, Piper died multiple times. Died, almost died. Even though that happened, even though I was annoyed in the season two finale, I was like, when Prue died in the season two finale and she got back, I was like, oh my god, can they stop killing them all the time in each finale? We all know that they're gonna go back, because they're undercover. When it happened, I really felt like, oh my god, is Piper gonna die? Like, even though I was like, nah, they're gonna turn back time, it's not gonna happen. They kind of feel like that way, but it truly hit me when we saw Leo's face. When I saw Leo's face, that was too much. I lost it right there and then. Um, it was especially the world knowing, and with Piper, those were the best parts of the finale. Um, the thing with Cole, Cole had to convince the Source to turn back time, but then Cole had to convince Phoebe to stay. That was also interesting, but that didn't really pay off. If I'm including a little bit of the beginning of season four, because it was like a huge thing that she decided to stay there and like turn evil, but then it didn't happen. Um, but this fake thing that the Source was like, okay, we're gonna turn back time, and then he was like turned to said to one of the other bad guys, like, capture Cole, and kill the witch, which I assume was to be Phoebe. Um, so Cole couldn't warn them, couldn't warn Prue and Piper in time, so they got hit again, just as the beginning. Um, and Phoebe was with Cole with the beneath. Um, so it was a very good finale. I just the only thing uh, that I thought was a little bit of a shame is that with Phoebe it didn't really lead to something. Maybe the consequence will still come up. I don't think so, but maybe. The ending was a cliffhanger, and unfortunately, the resolve of the cliffhanger is mainly resolved off screen. Again, I watched the first episode of season one and two. Like, ugh. I don't. It's just hard to say, but basically, yeah, I know Prue is dead. It's just weird. I don't know. I'm just sort of. I don't know. I wouldn't say denial. I know she's not gonna go back. Now I know where you guys were so stressed about me buying the box sets and like, oh, you should wait after you finish the season. I'm guessing that on season four, that Prue isn't on the cover anymore, and instead it's Paige. Um, I can barely talk right now. I guess to get to the point, that season three finale did have its consequences, even though it was mainly off screen. Because of what happened in the finale, Prue is gone, and because Prue is gone, the fourth sister joined them. So I did what I got what I asked for. I got my consequences. The finale did have a huge impact not only on me but on the show as well. It changed the show forever. So yeah. Um, so it did live up to my expectations, but the finale itself was even more darker than I ever expected. I kind of thought like, okay, we're gonna have consequences, but I didn't expect consequences like this. Okay. Favorite and least favorite sister. I was actually surprised that you asked me who my favorite sister is. My favorite sister is Prue, of course. I think she will always be my favorite sister. You know, I know that I haven't gotten to know Paige yet, but I don't think it's gonna happen. Prue is just my favorite. She's actually still my background, my wallpaper. Um, yeah, I'm actually looking at the wallpaper now. I feel like why is she looking at it? I'm actually looking at my wallpaper. Um, wait, let me just fix this a little bit. Whew, sorry. So she's definitely my favorite for multiple reasons. I mean, she was definitely the main reason why I continued watching at first. I think she already made a huge impression on me on the pilot episode. I immediately related to her. And again, she's so inspirational. I already said this, even though it sounds very cheesy, but there were a few times during my internship where I was kind of channeling Prue, where I was like, like I should just be confident in what I can, and I know I can do this. I shouldn't always say that I'm dumb or can't do this or be afraid to fail. I should just go for it. And I do that with multiple fictional characters. I don't care if I sound like a loser. I really don't care. It really helps. I usually do it with Buffy Summers, but Prue is definitely in the same list in the same category. Um, and I'm happy that I can rewatch season one and two and three. Whenever I need my Prue again, no, I'm not gonna cry. Whenever I need my Prue again, I can just rewatch the older seasons. And after the show is done, maybe I can maybe you can recommend some good fan fiction to me. I don't know. Maybe there's fan fiction where she didn't die. I mean, I don't know. Like it can be maybe someone wrote a very long fan fiction of like the rest of the series where Prue is included, and then we have the power of four instead of the power of three. So yeah, least favorite sister. I care about them all, but I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't really hard for me to. I mean, I sound rather bitchy, but it wasn't really hard for me to come up to answer who's my least favorite sister. My least favorite sister is Phoebe. I just don't really relate to her that much. There are. Wait, is that my lamp? Oh, sorry about that. I do really like Phoebe, and she makes me smile a lot, and I'm happy when she's happy. Um, but I just don't really care that much about her as I care about Piper and Prue. And again, I just relate more to Prue and Piper. Um, and of course, it also helps that I do also really like the Piper and Leo relationship. And with Phoebe, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like sometimes when there are emotional scenes with her, I do kind of notice that I'm not really that. Like it's harder for me to get also emotional about it. When I'm watching Pipe or when I'm watching Prue, I very easily get tears in my eyes because again I'm over dramatic. But with Phoebe, maybe there are moments, but at this point I don't really I can't really recall a lot of moments where I was like getting really emotional, when she was in huge distress or something. Um, so I don't know. I don't want this to come, of course, weird or want to come across wrong. I don't know. I can't really talk. So I can definitely understand why Phoebe would be a favorite character, but I think our personalities are so different that I don't really relate to her that many times. So yeah. Um, would you have preferred another sister to die instead of Prue? Well, now I sound like a bitch again, but yeah, I definitely would have preferred. I'm sorry for Phoebe fans, but for Phoebe to have died, um, yeah, I mean, I don't want Phoebe to die, but if I had to choose between Prue and Phoebe, then Phoebe will die. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't know what else to say about that. Uh, yeah, there were some two questions. I think they're more like season four questions, but for I make an exception. I will answer them now, but usually I will wait for the season four review. But the two questions I got were: how do you feel about Prue's death and Paige arrival, and what do you think about Piper and Paige new powers? Um, for the first question, I mean, for Prue, I don't really want to get too deep in it because I don't want to cry. But obviously, I'm not happy. um, I know I asked for consequences, but I wish we could have get consequences another way. Maybe that they had to do something traumatic which scarred them, personality wise, instead of, losing someone. But again, I understand why. I mean, I don't agree with it, but I know why it happened the way it happened. Page Arrival, I've calmed down a lot when I watched when I start season 4. Uh, for the guys on YouTube, you're gonna watch it soon. But when I start season 4, without getting into it too deep, I was quite pissed off because I had to find out about Prue's death. I didn't figure that out from the season finale. I mean, how could you figure it out? I just thought that Leo was going to save both Piper and Prue, but it didn't happen. So I'm mad that she's dead, and to go back, I'm mad about Prue's death, by the way, but I'm also mad about how she died. I wish she would have died on screen. How weird it sounds, it would have made it easier. It would have given me a way to truly mourn her loss. Now it's just like, oh, she's gone, and I couldn't do anything with feelings. If she would have died on screen with like the swelling music and all that stuff and editing, whatever, I would have been a total mess. I don't even want to imagine my crying face, but I feel like I could have grieved it better. Now it's still weird. Now I kind of feel like Prue can step in every way. But to go back to Paige, I was mad at the beginning, but now, if I just think about Paige, I don't really think that much about Paige just yet. I have to see. Um, I think I'm gonna. I think I'm gonna need some more episodes before I can really say what I think about her. Yeah, I'm sorry if it's a bad answer, but I don't really know how to answer the question. Um, I think I'm just curious about how she's gonna fit in, how it will change the dynamic, and what her story arc is going to be, other than what does it mean to be a Hellfire Lighter. I hope they're going to be more than just that. And Piper's new power, I like her new explosive powers. I just like it. It's kind of funny. It wasn't funny to see her suffer about it, but I do like it, and it's quite satisfying to see her explode the bad guys. So she can do that all day. Paige's new power, at first it was Paige's new power. Paige's new power. Paige's new power. I guess we'll have to see. It's also not something I can really go into it right now. So yeah, I think I talked a lot. I wonder how long I'm talking even. Goodness. Oh god, is it been over an hour? Ah! Oh my god, if you're still watching. But I think I have to stop. I think I discussed pretty much everything. I mean, my favorite and least favorite episodes. Kind of figured my general thoughts about with the answers I gave. I gave a season 4 predictions. Season 4 wishlist is kind of the same. I guess my wishlist is that, again, even though it sounds weird, but I hope that we're finally truly going to do something with the whole I'm more inclined to turn evil thing for Phoebe. So I guess that's my messed up wishlist. And another wishlist is that we still honor Prue. I don't expect them to make a tribute each episode. I do can understand that they want to move on from that at a certain point, but I just don't want to feel like they want to erase part of Prue. She still has to be a big part of the show, and they kind of have to be careful with that. Yeah, questions for you. I do have a few questions for you. Jesus, I really have to stop. First of all, are you a Cole and Phoebe shipper? I really wonder about that, because a few times I was a little bit afraid, like, oh no, what if I'm not really that into them? What if everyone is a shipper except for me? What are your thoughts on them? Are you a very active shipper? Do you just like them? Are you neutral about them? Do you dislike them? Let me know. And what about Leo and Piper's relationship? I get very, very emotional when I see them. I'm like, ah! But how about you? Are you also all hard eyes for them, or are you again just like, meh, it's all right? I already asked this question, but I'm gonna ask it again. I mean, maybe opinions have changed, but I want to know as well. Who is your favorite sister, and who is your least favorite sister, and why? How do you feel about the finale? Are there certain things you think they should have done in a different way, or maybe scenes they should have added, or scenes they should have deleted, well, removed? And Cole, do you think that Cole had a little bit too much attention this season? Do you think it's a little bit too much of a spotlight on him, and that we should have spent more time on the development of the Hallowell sisters? Of course, favorite, least favorite episodes. Tell me. How do you feel about the fairies? Did you mind them, or you're like, no, I really like the fairies, but they should have changed this and that? I have a lot of questions actually. Um, and also, I'm saying a lot of questions. And I'm already like, wait. The wedding. Were you happy with the wedding, or did you think it should have been longer? Were you annoyed that it took them so long? Would you rather have that they married like the first time? Mm, and also, are you happy that Cole got into a relationship with Phoebe, or would you rather have wished that he was in a relationship with Prue, for example? Because I was actually kind of shocked with the chemistry in the restaurant episode. I can't deny that I sometimes kind of think about how it would have been if Prue was with Cole. I don't know. It's kind of interesting thought. But yeah, I really have to stop. Oh my god. But I still wanted to do one more thing though. Oh my god. I wanted to show, even though you probably own it, already know what looks like. But here, I usually end with the box set. But here is the season 3 box set. Now I can safely look at it. Um, Again, it's the same layout as season 1 and 2. I'm very happy that it's very consistent. Again, I'm really annoyed when shows have like when the layout is all over the freaking place. At least they stay consistent here. You also have this nice let me put it here. Where can I put it? Booklet right here with some beautiful pictures. I looked through it yesterday. Again, I have to see it myself. The Halloween pictures. This is from the fairy episode. What is next to it? Oh, okay, Halloween. For the fairy episode. Sorta evil Piper, that wasn't really Piper. The ice cream episode. The Western, I really like that they included a picture of Cole and Prue. Like I said, I definitely would read some fan fiction of them. Don't judge me. Wedding. Don't really recognize from which episode this is, but it's a beautiful picture. I think again the wedding. I'm really bad on this, but yeah, I really like that. It's a cute box set. Even though that I obviously not happy with what happened with Prue, I sort of try to stay calm. I still want to give you enjoyable reactions. I don't just want to cry the whole time like, where's my Prue? Even though I feel like that. So I do want to give season 4 a fair chance. I do want to give Paige a fair chance. So I'm excited for what the future brings. So yeah. Thank you so much. If you watched the whole video, like, I'm shocked. I'm very happy that you're still joining me on my journey on watching the Charm series. Very happy that I'm still able to continue. And I'm also very grateful that you're, well, interested in hearing my thoughts about the season, even though they're very messy. And I really have to learn to prepare myself better. Like, all those notes, for what? But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Bye.